Hi, it's Sarah from Card Crazy Cook. I'm here today with a shaker card. Something to put in the mail and brighten someone's day. Let's go ahead and get started. First, I got inspired with the stained glass floral die cut from MemoryBox to start this card. I cut out a twice 110-pound white cardstock. The first one I took out all the pieces, and then the second one I tried to keep as many pieces in or taped them back in place, securing them with some leftover purple tape that was disintegrating after die cutting so much. So then I just put them back in place, and we're going to go ahead and start our coloring. We're going to use Copic markers for coloring today. The first color for the center of the flower, I'm going to use Y00. I'm going to go ahead and just blend that in the center. I've done the other flowers ahead of time for this video. And we're going to go from a darker to a lighter color. So our next color for the petals is YR07. I'm going to go from the bottom of the petal, and I'm going to flick up. Flicking motion with the longer flicking in the center of the petal, and go around each petal. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If the marker gets on the edges of the white, it's fine. That's why we die cut too, to cover up the overages that you have. And the lighter color I'm using is the YR02. We're going to just blend that out with the lighter color, blending it to the top. Oh, and if it's... And then I'm going to go back in again with the darker color, and just put a little bit more depth towards the bottom of each petal. Just kind of makes it pop just a little bit more. This way you're only using two colors and it's easy, but you do have the we're going to use the same type of techniques. The two different greens, a dark green YG03 and then a lighter one YG11. I'm going to start towards the base of the leaf and flick that darker color up and kind of more towards the bottom of the leaf. Okay, take your lighter green and blend that out. And then go back in with your darker green and add a little more color towards the base of the leaf. Notice I talk really slow while I'm working, and it takes a while for me to finish my thoughts, but hopefully that's okay with you guys. Okay, now we're going to glue the top. Okay, we're going to go ahead and line everything up. Okay, that looks good. Go ahead and set that aside. For the front panel of our shaker card, I chose the Madrius Plaid Coral and Green. I chose one of the coral colors. This is the paper I chose. I chose it for the gold foil grid lines, and this fit right in the center of this card. So I'm going to secure this in place. I'm going to die cut this out of the center. Okay, I die cut that out. Now we have that in the center. And we're going to trim that down smaller than an A2 size. I'm going to leave a 1/8 of an inch border on each side. And to trim this down, I figured out I need a 3/4 of an inch border on each side. So what I did is line up the inside of the cut on the 3/4 inch mark, and I just started trimming. And I'm only going to need the two long sides and then the top of our cutout trimmed along this 3/4 of an inch. square there. And then for the bottom portion, we're going to cut at 5 1/4. This will give us our 5 1/4 and 4-inch card base for the shaker element. Put that aside, and there it is, nice and centered. We're going to put our vellum. I went ahead and cut down that vellum acetate. So cut down the acetate to the smaller than my base, but large enough to stick over my tape runner. I just like using tape runner to secure this in place. It's just quick and easy, not so tacky, but enough to secure it in place. Put that away. Grab our acetate. There we go. Looks good. Okay, next we're gonna glue our flower frame on top of the acetate. Okay. And then around the frame, I'm just gonna try to put little dots because I don't want it to squirt out. And this seems to be the fastest and easiest for me. Then I just take my finger and dab them down. You can do all the little glue dots to make sure that none of the glue oozes out and gets on your acetate. And I make sure I clean my finger off before I go. And then very carefully you want to put that back into the frame. Okay. Now you have your front panel. So I have my A2 card base and I have a top folding. So we're gonna get our shaker elements out. I have HAI Supply. This is Cherry Blossoms. And I'm gonna secure my card together so it doesn't stay open with some purple tape. I just fold it in half, stick it towards the bottom, and it'll stay in place so I can line up my shaker element in easy. I'm going ahead and put some of the sequins in there, these pretty flower sequins that match the paper so beautifully. I'm going to take the release paper off. Okay. You want to kind of stack your sequins in the middle. This is the easiest way I find to make sure that you line up the top portion of your shaker card the most even. So I'm going to come in and see if I can get that lined up as good as I can. I think I'm good. Yay! Okay, there we go. Like I said, I cannot make 2 cards the same way twice. So this one I decided to add the Glade butterfly. I'm having so much fun with these dies. There's a larger butterfly as well in the release. The bottom is 80-pound white cardstock. And the top I use the polished foil pad and it's the darker gold. And we're going to color blend with Copics on the base, and we're going to start with the same process of the darker color, and I chose the YRO2 for my dark. And go ahead and secure that down with some glue. I had gotten a little bit of glue and it just rubs right off. Okay, now I'm going to shape the wings, that's what they're called. A little bit, putting my finger right outside where the wing would attach to the body, and then just kind of push up and fold over and down on the wings, giving them a little bit of movement. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and for my sentiment, I use Just a Note Posh script, and I cut 110-pound white cardstock, and then the top of the sentiment I did the same gold foil paper, and you just go ahead and glue that on the base sentiment, and then you glue the butterfly and the sentiment onto your card base. One of the things is I did line the bottom of the note with this line down here and try to center it within my cutout up above, and then I place the butterfly with a little bit of glue, making sure it doesn't seep out onto your acetate, onto your card base. Okay, we have our shaker card complete. Hope this is something you can recreate to brighten someone's day. See you next time.